Hello YouTube, this is the Gentleman Scholar. It's been about a month. I just wanted to drop in and say hello. I've missed you folks. I've missed the giant warm family collective that is YTPC. Pardon me for a minute. Housekeeping. I am smoking Norman Rockwell portrait in this pear wood that the Mindful Piper made me. I want to say about a year ago. His name is Johan. He's from Sweden, and I miss him. I wish he'd come back to us. Maybe he will one day. This one's probably going to be a long one, so I don't know. I've been kind of working up to doing a video, but unfortunately it's one of those things where if I plan to do something, then somehow it becomes work, and then I start procrastinating, and days and weeks and sometimes months go by. So sometimes I average about one video per month, like Holy Smokin' Pipe Padre. But mine's probably not going to be as long as his. His tend to run for 45 minutes to an hour. I'll try not to go that long, but if it does, oh well. A lot of stuff to cover in this video, pardon me. Love this pipe. Anyway, I didn't intend for this to be a shout out video, but I just kept seeing a bunch of really cool videos, and I thought that they deserved mention, and I'll put them, their links in the bucket down below. There's quite a list of them. First of all, Leo Alderpold is back. Leo Alderpold is a salt-of-the-earth Englishman down in near Dorset Way, which is the southwest of England. He literally is the salt of the English earth. It's like he sprang out of it. He's into forestry, and his last video he was going around and showing us different mushroom species and the ruins of an old castle near where he lives. He knows that us Americans seem to like that, as we don't really have a history of our own, at least not compared to their 1,000-year history, so he's kind enough to give us the history of his homeland, or different parts of it. And speaking of England, I'd like to shout out Sam Smoking Shed. He's a relatively new piper, and he's got 3 videos out, and he was inspired to smoke by his grandfather, who smoked a falcon, and now he's smoking a falcon. So always have time for a traditional English piper. Excuse me. I'd like to thank Edward Hobbs. Edward Hobbs is a relatively new piper. I believe he's done in Arkansas, and I suggested he get onto the YTPC, and he did. And he has his trademark fedora on, and he talks about his favorite blends and whatnot. But he sounds just like Tom T. Hall, like he just came out of the recording studio, like he should be singing some country music songs. And speaking of which, he's been very kind. get this going. He's been very kind. I'll send along some. I'll be taking a walk outside, and I'll be sending along. I'll be listening to a tune, and I'll send him the link to it. And I don't know how I got this started, but he he just started listening to the songs and commenting on them. So that's very kind of him to take the time and listen. It's a range of everything from like old timey country to David Bowie to electronica. He listens to it all and comments on it all. Says what he likes and what he doesn't like. Dread Tiger. Dread Tiger is basically the hidden brother, separated at birth, brother of I want to say Robert Mitchum. Sounds like Robert Mitchum. And he's a very, very well-read, he's a gentleman scholar, more than I'll ever be. But he'll always favor you with an old codger story while smoking his pipe. And he has a rich, whiskey-soaked voice that's made for storytelling. So go check him out. So, two similar ones, but JB Afternoon Piper and JMC 56, both salt of the earth. Like I said, solid country pipers. I wouldn't say too similar, but they're very, very. You can picture yourself hanging out with them and listening to their, just hanging out, having a pipe with them, because I picture them in the Midwest somewhere. Salt of the earth folks. I've been listening to them for quite a bit. Always a pleasure to see new content from them. And just Night Piper has been off the air for a while, but he finally came back with a video a couple days back, and his brother-in-law has passed away because of COVID, and he looks really wrecked about it, quite honestly. And if you have the time, please go over and offer him your condolences. He's a really great guy. He's a member of the Nashville Mafia. But he hasn't been doing that for the last month or so for that very reason. Night Piper's a great guy with a great sense of humor. So he's another one that's a pleasure to follow. And I wish him my fondest condolences. And speaking of people passing away, I had a colleague of mine. As you know, I'm a flight attendant for a legacy airline. And this last week, one of my gossipy colleagues, love her to death, but, you know, she likes to gossip a little bit. She told me she got an email from her husband trying to get a hold of her manager. I'm like, why? What's going on? And come to find out, she passed away. And she's younger than I am. And I don't know, they're not mentioning the cause of death, which leads me to suspicions, but it really kind of hit me hard because Sam's a member of my tribe. She's one of my people. She has a dark twist. I don't want to say twisted, but dark, deadpan sense of humor. She also she's into like science fiction movies and TV series, and she's also into anime, which I'm not so much. Although she's tried very hard to get me into it. I always liked flying with her. And all of a sudden, she's gone. I know, it's just very, very surreal. Because, we weren't friends, we didn't hang out. But then all of a sudden, this person whose company you enjoyed is just not there anymore. And I don't know, it's kind of hard to get your head around it. I wrote out a letter, a condolence letter, just a straight letter, basically sharing my memories with her family because, I don't know, condolence cards they're kind of mushy and they're kind of, I don't know, too flowery, I guess, and to my mind, a little too formulaic and insincere. So I just wrote a pure letter explaining to her, her widower husband, what I like, what I liked about his wife and why I enjoyed flying with her, that kind of thing. Excuse me. She will be missed. Sam Chung. Okay, speaking of work, actually, first of all, I have like CQ coming up in a week, which CQ is basically an annual qualification that I have to go through, and it involves like sitting down in a mock-up and pretending that we're in some accident or something like that. We have to we do evacuation drills. We prove our proficiency in each of the doors because our fleet has, I don't know, like 11, 12 planes in it right now. It did not catch. So we basically have to prove that we're proficient on the doors and opening the windows, and we have to go through emergency event scenarios. I don't know. They love their acronyms, so I have no idea what it is. So I'm going to have to go down on Thursday afternoon for that down to Atlanta, and hopefully back again if I pass Thursday afternoon. But I haven't ever failed. You'd have to be pretty numb to fail, but I don't want to go in there cold. So I have like a little study booklet, and I'm going to review the videos until I'm sick of watching them. Also, another great thing. I put in for a November paid leave. Hold on. Thank you, ladies and gents, for your patience with me. Did I mention I love this pipe? Check it out. Made especially for me. Because my name, Pear Tree, Poirier in French. It's all pearwood. So thank you very much, Johan, again. Call it my spirit pipe. All right, I want to push my luck here because I'm kind of getting up there in time. But anyway, for November, hopefully I can collect unemployment or something. I didn't even think about it. I just put in for it, and the universe will guide and provide, as far as I'm concerned. And it gives me a chance to write out, the famous Christmas cards, my famous Christmas cards. I make my own. I basically throw pop culture into a blender and see what it provides for me. And then I send them out. They're generally very well received. So I might have to send those out at Thanksgiving because the USPS is slowing itself down. So instead, there won't be any airmail within the states. They're just gonna run them by truck. So I don't know how that's more efficient or whatever, but I do believe it's gone out. Damn it! I'll just use it as a prop. But yeah, that gives me November off and maybe time to do some Christmas shopping and just time to chill out. And it's been kind of a brutal summer for flying, even though we're just coming back from COVID. I have not been I'm a flight attendant. I have not been on board when people have freaked out about the masks, and haven't had to duct tape anyone to a seat lately. So that's good. Which brings me to the booster shot. Yeah, Bill and I, my husband and I, went for our booster shot. We were gonna go to set an appointment for it at our local Walgreens pharmacy, but we decided just to kind of show our credentials, and we got lined up for it. Of course, it was pretty chaotic, but what else can you expect? Because those poor people in a pharmacy, they're being set up to fail. So they're doing the best they can with conflicting misinformation. Like the television will say that you can get your flu shot, like a news reporter on our local news television says you can get your flu shot and you can get your booster at the same time, which is not true. So they're forever correcting people on that. It was it was kind of chaotic, and it didn't help that my husband didn't have his second shot sticker listed on his card. So we had phone calls had to be made, things had to be verified, etc., etc., etc. So when I was off having my shot, I just talked to the lady behind the counter. She says, "Oh, this is just, it's relentless. It's just relentless and it's soul draining." And my heart goes out to them. My heart goes out to them because it's a new disease, and there's conflicting information about it. And of course, they're the ones who are saddled with educating the public as to what is true and what is not true, and what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. So my heart really goes out to them. And I've got 3 days left on a Facebook ban. Kind of embarrassed as to say why, but let's just say I have to say I kind of miss it. I miss my pipe people on there. There's like several pipe groups I belong to, and it's a place to display my twisted, warped black humor. So I've been just sticking to Instagram lately. And if you want to go, if you're bored, go to my Instagram page. It's 5 minutes ahead of my time with dots in between each word, and that's my Instagram account. And I like it because it relies mainly on visuals and photographs. So you could just post those, and normally it would go right to Facebook too, but not during my ban. Tried out Twitter, and I don't know. It's like talking in an empty room. There's no one. I guess you have to have millions of followers for anyone to pay attention to you there, so that's not proving to be as successful. But yeah, I hate to admit it, but I miss Facebook and the folks and the friends I know on it. So, but I'm going on 17 minutes now, and we all have things to do. But I just wanted to say hello to you fine folks, and before I run out of time. So I'll end here and say I hope you're all well. I hope you're getting through the life's difficulties that is 2020 and 2021. I'm glad I'm part of the YTPC, and it provides me with a lot of entertainment and a lot of connection. So thank you folks for being there, and thank you folks for allowing me to be part of your community. All the best to you, and take care.